They used to have an Indigenous advisory panel, which I used to be a part of. So it's been over a year. So obviously changed that. They had an anti-racism committee as well, which I wasn't invited to as most recently. So since they've so-called made these changes where they've added these QT BIPOC, advisory boards, now there's no transparency. Now nobody knows what they can say. And I mean, anyone who's QT BIPOC knows what it's like working for anyone. And it usually, in an organization that's done no organizational change when it comes to structural racism, that means you're still silenced as a QT BIPOC, right? So that's I could put my resume in and I could work for the Calgary Police, but then as Councillor Wolcott pointed out in this article, you then have to sign this like non-disclosure and you can't really speak up. And eventually they're all going to, get burnt out and have PTSD from the constant racial battle fatigue that they have to endure because there isn't systemic changes yet within the organization and there's not safe spaces for QT BIPOC. And I mean, they still don't have a cultural space for Indigenous people that they can just readily access. It's a very locked down, secured building that there is the smudging room. It's not open to the public. It's not open for people to just use. So, I would want to see more transparency with the structural changes that they're doing to create safer spaces. Obviously, I'm worried about the Indigenous police officers, but that bigger picture is that, Indigenous people who are going to the police to talk about whatever should be able to go and smudge and talk to somebody. But we're still not seeing that as a part of the availability to the general public when it comes to trying to talk and interact with the police. And obviously from all of the protests that have happened and the hate crimes going to Black women instead of the actual hate perpetrators of like these white supremacists coming from Ontario to harass children in their high school. Calgary police were arresting Black women and charging Black women and not like single mothers protecting their children in those schools. So this is ridiculous. And I'm really grateful that Councillor Courtney Wolcott spoke out about it. I just wish more people understood